Welcome to the Puck Crew. I'm your Captain Mal, and I have my alternates with me.
I'm Camille.
And I'm Robert.
And today we're diving into episode 3 of Heated Rivalry. I have come for Camille's position, and in my first move as captain, I have drafted a rookie. This is my friend Janai.
Hello.
If you are a listener to this podcast, you may be wondering, why did Mal get promoted when Camille has literally always been the captain or the... What's your role for the pit? I can't remember. The attending? Yeah, Camille is always in charge. So there are many reasons. Number one being I'm the only bitch in this house who has read the Game Changer book.
I read like
also
half
why
of it.
I had to recruit Janai, because Janai has also read the Game Changer book.
I've read half of it.
Yeah, me too.
Camille too, yeah.
Yeah. Well, first of all, Janai, tell us how you got introduced to Heated Rivalry.
Oh, yeah.
About that, about the show. How much do you know about the book, about the show? What's your relationship
Thank
with
you,
it?
alternate Captain Camille.
You're welcome.
I read the books back in 2023 because my friend Lainey Rose was like, you have to read these. And I was like, do I? And she was like, no, you need to read them. And I'm very annoying. And I'm like, you have to read the books in order. And she was like, no, you don't. You can just read Heated Rivalry in the long game. It's fine. And I was like, no, I have to read them in order. So I binged all of them insanely quickly at the end of 2023, read all 6 books in a month, which at the time wasn't how much I was reading. And then I just started a reread, and I've watched the show about 80 times.
Oh, good.
Right. As me as well.
I was going to say, Mal read them all incredibly quickly. If you're someone who's no, you have to read them in order, I'm so sorry. I read Heated Rivalry, the long game. Heated Rivalry, the long game. Then I started Game Changer. I got about 40% of the way through, and now I've started Role Model. So...
See, okay,
I'm all over the place.
I also was a little convoluted about it because it wasn't until after this episode had come out, because this was the episode that got me locked in on this show, because I'm gonna say the same thing that I said when my mom found AO3 gay smut in my search history in the 8th grade. I'm reading this gay smut for the plot, and this was the first episode where I was like, okay, there are feelings. There's so much going on with Shane and Ilya that I was like, this is fine, but I don't know if these two actually like each other. And then I was like, oh, there's feelings, there's drama, okay. And so then I read their book first, and then I read Heated Rivalry in the long game. And then after that, the only one that was available at the bookstore was Role Model, so I read Role Model. And then I was like, well, then I'm just going to go back to the beginning and read them all in order. So I have now read the whole series. But also, I think I liked this episode the first time because I also have a very important Kip in my life, because that is the name of my bearded dragon. Her name is Kip. So initially I was like, wow, this man has a lizard name. Not only that, this man has a girl lizard name, because my lizard is a girl. Janai, would you like to tell the nice people what you thought about Kip when you first heard about her?
When I first heard about Kip, Matt was telling us that she was doing a couple's costume, and I was like, oh, that's so cute that she's doing a couple's costume with her girlfriend, and then it was just her lizard in a costume, and it was amazing.
In a way, she is my girlfriend.
The Lizard and I, right?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Lizard and
I was Glinda, she was Elphaba. It was cute.
I will say that, just as a warning, we are going to spoil some book things for Game Changer.
Yes.
Let's just start off by saying, I think one of the reasons why I've had such a hard time getting into Game Changer is, one, this is not my, to throw it back, this is not my OTP. I am not sold on, I love them, right? But Scott and Kip, their relationship and the style of the book and the way that things progress is not it for me. But I will say, I have DNF'd so many books just for having way too much sex. So the fact that I like Shane and Ilya's books so much is kind of shocking to me. But Scott and Kip, something about it to me is I'm it's a little too flat. But again, I recognize that this is the very first book in a series, so I understand that there's a lot more to do.
You also said something at one point where you said that the world feels really small in the Scott and Kip book, which I agree with. But I also, it's funny because when I watched the episode, I was I feel like this world has just gotten so much bigger for me. And so I wonder if is also partially like the fact that they are first and the fact that they are just so kind of vanilla, I guess you could say. Like it's a very basic romance book. Like none of the twists and turns were particularly surprising. Like it all just kind of felt very like formulaic for me.
It was written as fan fiction of like this alternate universe where a hockey player could meet a smoothie maker, and I feel like it was Steve.
It was Steve Rogers and Bucky Barnes. That's what it
Naturally.
was. And I want to like preface and warn, like, we're not talking shit, but this episode,
I'm talking a little bit of shit.
I'm just saying, like, we don't hate it, but the thing is,
I'm talking shit from a place of love. Like this episode is what got me into Heated Rivalry, and I discovered a whole world that I love even more than this episode. But like, it's always going to have a very special place for me.
This episode, we give Jacob Tierney all his flowers for how perfectly he adapted Heated Rivalry, like word for word. This episode, I'm so confused.
Yeah.
This is not, like, even Scott's lore as a person is totally different.
Yeah.
I'm so confused.
I don't understand so many of the changes that we made.
I don't understand the timeline change. I think that was like the biggest issue.
Well, that was a mistake.
Yeah.
That was a mistake. And I actually have some notes about like, well, you have a very small budget show that was not expecting to be as big. Well, but what happened is,
but if you go on the Game Changers wiki, there's this really handy like timeline of events that tells you the timeline of everything happened.
I will raise you one. The reason that they changed Andre's name to Alexei in the show is because Jacob forgot that his name wasn't Alexei, and so did Rachel. So,
which I think is kind of
that's why his name is different.
His name isn't important. His name isn't important. He's a terrible.
Girl, you didn't read the book. Yeah. Yeah, no. Honestly, you can call that man whatever you want. I will not like him, so it doesn't matter. Our episode, for some reason, starts in 2014 at the Olympics again. I get wanting to connect it in time to like what we've already seen. But the book does take place in January of 2017, which, just for context, that's when, like, Shane and Rose are kind of at the end of their thing together. That's when this is happening in the book. So this is, like, way earlier.
That's part of what bothers me, is that it's just, like, it looks like the relationship is so long because of this, like, starting in 2014 and going to 2017. It's like a few months in the book. It's like not a long relationship.
They're U-Haul lesbians. Like that's what they are. It's just like what was happening with the timeline? What was happening? So we already had this scene about like Russia's not safe for gay people and like figure skating and whatever at the Olympics. But this time
it's a very clever way of like leading you into Scott's story.
Yes, because we like pan over and zoom in on Scott and it's like,
instead of on
Scott
Shane.
Going on?
Yeah.
Lets you know that this is not about just Shane, and Carter is sitting here with, like, two gay guys talking about how brave it is, and, like, doesn't even realize that, like...
his gaydar is broken as fuck. Carter's, like, sitting here with my straight homies. Like, no.
No, you are not.
He's like, I'm actually the most intelligent ally at this table. Russia's not safe for gay people.
In other news, water is wet.
Somebody posted on social media and they were like, oh my god, this like interview clip or something really helped me understand. I didn't realize that it was like that they had anti-gay laws in Russia. And everybody in the comments is like, are you fucking stupid? Like,
what? They have anti-gay laws in Russia?
Well, how do you not know that?
Because Russia.
God.
Also, like, the show makes that very clear. Like,
repeatedly.
Some people truly, like, watch shows on their phone and miss things.
We've said it a million times. We're gonna say it a million more times. Like, people are not paying attention. They are either thinking about something else and, like, drifting off and not paying attention to dialogue. But I just, like, I wonder how you can watch something like this and not be locked in. It doesn't make sense to me.
Well, yeah, and I mean, I even asked you, I'm not a big TV watcher. I think I've said that before on this podcast. But because I, like, can't focus on two things at once and I, like, want to. And so most of the time I just, like, don't even turn the TV on because I'd rather be reading or whatever. But I even asked you, I was like, you know, how focused on the show do I have to be when you were trying to get me to watch it, as if I'm like not going to be locked in on any TV show I'm watching. But you were like, no, you have to like read Russian subtitles. So you have to be locked in. So I'm like, are these people who are not paying attention, like, are they missing so much of like Ilya because they're not reading the Russian subtitles because they're trying to do other things? Like, you're missing
I
so
will
much.
say again, I think this is why people think Ilya is so toxic, is because they're not actually looking at the screen. And I'm like, he's smirking when he's saying certain things. And I'm like, but you're not seeing that.
He's teasing. God.
He's teasing. He's not a dickhead. Like, Jesus. I mean, he is, but not. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that.
We'll talk more about that. I mean, I think the fact that media literacy is dead is really good for us because then we look really smart just because we were paying attention.
Just for the bare minimum, yeah.
Flashback to 4 months ago, which would be November, since it's February at the Olympics. And we get a nice shot of Central Park. Looks like fall. We get to see the nice softball fields. Love that.
This was originally filmed so that the breakup should have only lasted 6 months, but the timeline somehow in the edit got super fucked up, and they even had to like edit a line of Scott's speech in episode 6 because it didn't work anymore. So if you watch, there's actually, when Francois has talked about, I had to go in and do ADR for an episode, and then we all sat there and cried because it was so powerful and we had a big moment together. This is what he's talking about. He had to go in and do ADR for this speech because they had to change the dialogue. So if you go to episode 6 and you watch Scott's speech, his lips actually don't match what he's saying at a certain point because they had to rewrite his lines and have him do it again. Fun fact.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. The timeline is so interesting, and perhaps I should think about it less so that I could enjoy it more, but
yeah.
So let's talk about the running.
This is such a hot button issue.
Mal, do you like to run?
I do like to run. I have to go run 9 miles today after this, so
oh shit.
I'm pretty good at running. I'm not very fast, but I'm pretty good at running. His form is not that bad. He looks weirder to me from the back because it looks like he's holding his shoulders like really tense and weird.
Is that what you're supposed to do?
No, I'm like, you're using a lot of energy when you like
to be like fair, he's rage listening to people talking absolutely.
I mean, right.
Yes.
Well, and that's what he's said in like interviews. He's like, listen, you know, he's working through something. He's listening to people like talk shit about him, and he's like, he's not concerned with his form. And like, I get that, but also the way he's swinging his arms, it feels like he's crossing his body a lot with them, which like it's gonna fuck with your momentum, dude. Like it feels like he's doing a lot of things that are like not conducive to like efficient running form, which is like fine, he's working through something, it's whatever. Ultimately, I think people are hating on the running form a little too much, but also I have to hate on the running form just a little bit because I also enjoy running. But when I see videos of myself running, I'm like, oh, I look ridiculous. So it's
well, Francois just did an interview with Andy Cohen, and he was like, I run like 3 to 4 times a week.
As long as he's fast on the ice, it does not matter how he runs in person.
Janai, do you know anything about hockey, by the way? I forgot to ask.
Oh, very little.
Janai knows about women's basketball.
Yes.
So we also have, I want to talk about these podcasters. Everybody that you will listen to talking about this scene is going to talk about how much they hate the podcasters. They say he scored 0 goals in 6 games so far. That's not unheard of. That's fine. Like, okay, sure. A slow start to his season, whatever. That's not that big a deal. It's not that bad. There's 82 games in a regular season of hockey. He's fine, okay? Give him some time. It's also
different in the book because he, like, scores... By the time he meets Kip, he has not scored a goal since November. So it's been, like, 3 months since he has scored.
And then the other kind of scoring is...
Honestly, it's probably around the same because in the book, his whole thing is that like he disappears in the summer to some European place where like nobody knows who he is, and he goes and he like hooks up with men.
Yeah.
I recognize that I don't watch men's sports specifically, but then I also am not like a huge hockey person. But I love in these books that like they're so famous that everybody recognizes them out in public. If the New York Rangers, ever won, but like also had a star center, I would just be like, who is this man in front of me online? Like, can you hurry up? No. Like, I would not have any idea who any of these people are.
Now, see, when you live in a hockey city, though, and it's a big deal and people are doing really well, they're gonna get recognized. I can recognize certain hockey players and be like I'll be driving down the street and I'll be like, I know that Philip Forsberg is at this grocery store because that's his car. Like,
but New York is just like not a big hockey town.
Yeah, it is not. I guess in this universe we're making the hockey players a lot more famous than they are, but I feel like Scott Hunter would be able to hide in New York City, I think, at least a little bit.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because it's not that big of a deal.
Now, when you're talking about like Boston, when you're talking about Montreal, I think that's a little bit different, right?
Yeah.
Boston, he's going to have a Dunkies commercial, right? But in cities like New York, sure. But you have to think about from the mind of Scott, he's like, everybody knows who I am. Everybody knows who I am.
Well, he's a little out of touch. If you keep reading the books, you see it. But
Well, and I mean, if the Admirals are actually good, and they are because they win a cup, I do wonder,
okay, let me challenge you for just a second. I will say he only wins the cup by fluke because Shane and Ilia are both injured. Otherwise, he never would have won.
I mean, that's true.
So, sorry to Scott.
But also, we needed Scott to win so that he would kiss his boyfriend on TV, and that would be very important to the boys that we really care about. Honestly, sorry to Scott and Kip. I love you very dearly.
You were her OG loves. I promise.
Shane and
Ilya
I was
there.
Have infiltrated my brain. I think, honestly, the best decision that this show made was making it about Shane and Ilya, because they really, they have the most interesting dynamic and relationship and the most consequences. And they also span all the other relationships because they start before and they don't get to live freely until after all the others have come out and done their thing. So,
Janai, as someone who read the books before there was even a concept of there being an adaptation, what do you feel how do you feel about the show being centered on heated rivalry and Shane and Ilya instead of the series?
That's the best decision that they made. And also I am a truther in reading the book series in order as established, but I'm just so glad that they didn't make book one a multi-episode thing, because the fact that they were able to condense it down to one episode, that's all you need to know. They don't have an interesting story, in my humble opinion. I just and I'm reading it back right now and I'm just I was so nice to it when I read it the first time, because had I not had the goal of getting to the second book, I probably wouldn't have read the rest of the series. Because I'm reading it now and it's just I hate the isolation. I hate the insta love of it all, and just I understand that the stakes is that he's a hockey player, but there isn't really
not conflict between them.
Yeah,
it's us versus the world instead of there's conflict between us. I think one we have moments from heated rivalry where they're sitting by the bonfire or by the fire at Shane's cottage, and Ilya's I'm gonna throw him into the fire, and then he's like, no, I'm gonna smash the fire into my eyeballs so that I don't have to look at his cute face anymore. And we don't get that aggressive oh god, between Scott and Kip. There's no I'm gonna throw you in the fire,
No cute aggression.
Camille, what are you into?
That's an actual documented thing where it's cuteness aggression, where it's oh, when you're oh, this baby's so cute, I could eat it up,
Game Changer is fine, and that's kind of all that I can give it. My two...
Thank you, Game Changer, for changing the game.
It's integral to the series because it builds the world, it sets up in motion for everything else.
Scott Hunter coming out is so integral to this whole story.
But to everybody else.
He is just a man.
He's just a man.
Yes. His relationship is the most vanilla nothing relationship, and like love that for you. Like everyone should have a nice, chill, easy relationship if that's what you want, but it's the least interesting one to read. And I think if you'd read it first, you get it out of the way, great.
Yeah.
We've talked about like nothing from the episode.
No, we've set things up really well. We've set things.
But like, okay, so it is smoothie time. This is not a New York street. This does not look like New York. Purely just from the parking. Like, you know, Canada, York City, it's fine. So in our smoothie shop, Kip is sleeping with an art history textbook.
I like how that's how they like introduce him as a person. They're like,
yes,
we're gonna tell everyone exactly what we think about you, and you're tired and you like our history.
But the decision to change him from like just a guy who's into history to a guy who's into art history is a change that I don't understand why we made.
I don't get it at all.
Is it because we can go to the gallery then?
No, because we go to the museum in the book.
Yeah,
museum and gallery though. I mean,
thought though that they changed it so that we could go to the gallery instead of the Met, because it would have been more expensive to like go to the Met and have them be recognized at the Met, because then you have to have all these extras and you have to have like all this stuff.
Storm the set! Do you guys know that story? They told this story. Okay, so they had like no money for extras, okay? So when they had like the airport scenes, they had like nobody. And so they always made this joke and they'd be like, storm the set! And they were imagining like all the people who work in different departments like, go! To play extras in the background of the scene. So that was like a running gag on set, is they were like, storm the set!
The people in the stadium, if you look too closely, you're a little bit like, oh, those people
don't
are
look
not
too
actually
closely.
There. Yeah,
oh
don't
my God,
look too
please
closely.
Don't. Just don't break the illusion for yourself.
What's the line from Wizard of Oz? Don't look behind the curtain.
Yeah,
don't pay attention to the man behind the curtain.
Just enjoy it. It's fine. It's not important. Doesn't affect the story.
I love that Scott picks up on the fact that Kip has an art history book, though, because he mentions later that Kip is an art guy.
Yeah.
And so I love the little callback to the fact that he was like giving him the once, twice, 3 times over before he's like, you know?
He also like, he looks at him so fondly when he's sleeping there. I'm like, if I walked in to a smoothie place post-run, I would be kind of pissed if I had just been running and I walked in and I'm like, hey, I really want a smoothie. And like, this guy is asleep.
I would find a way to make like the most annoying noise ever. Like slam the door, like drop my phone. Like I wouldn't just like
go behind the counter and turn on the blender.
I would be making the smoothie myself. Yeah. No, actually, I would probably be like, oh, they're asleep. Better not bother them. I have to leave now. Our smoothie is called the Blue Moon over Brooklyn. Terrible.
Terrible name.
A worse name
Why?
ever.
I don't know, it's just cheesy.
I hate cutesy stuff.
That's what he said, though. He acknowledges it.
And, you know, when Kip makes it for himself, he adds an extra banana. And the look on Scott's face when he goes, oh, so you're kind of wild. I'm like, sir, calm down.
I'm just, like, imagining myself online behind this happening. And I would have puked in my mouth and then walked out. I would not have been able to handle that.
Also, like, okay, they don't show it, but at what point does Maria enter the equation? Because she's there when the guy comes in and is like, was that Scott Hunter? So like, was Maria just standing there this whole time?
No, she's in the back. She's prepping stuff, remember?
Yeah, in the book.
In the book.
You just don't know you don't know in the show.
I know, but like, what does she witness? What does she know?
Do you want to read my note here or should I read it?
You should.
Okay.
I don't want to say that.
It's like, if it's okay if I order off the menu. And so my note here just said, order off menu. Bestie, he's gonna eat your ass.
That's what he wants to get off menu.
Diabolical. We're sending Camille to the horniest
bonk,
jail.
Horny jail. Bonk.
I like the idea that, like, adding a banana to a smoothie is, like, an insane modification. Like, it's never been done at a smoothie shop before.
Yeah, a lot of smoothies have banana. Like,
and if you're like me and you hate bananas, like so much, if you ever go somewhere, ask them to do avocado instead of banana, because it does the same thing and you actually can't taste it. I love avocado.
Banana is a very strong taste in a smoothie.
Yeah.
Like, if there is a banana in the smoothie, you are drinking a banana smoothie. Like,
if there's any amount of banana, I will taste it. I promise. I hate bananas.
The banana is also a an introduction for the show. This is not a thing in the book.
This is absolutely classic Jacob Tierney innuendo.
Right. Yeah. I think it's for the innuendo, but I also think like they found the socks that are blue with the banana and we're like, great, we can add a banana to this smoothie. Because they're literally just like blue socks in the book.
Can I point out that in the bowl on the counter are massive carrots, and at the base of the carrots there are like lemons and limes. I'm like, that's a penis. That's a dick.
I did not see this. I have to rewatch.
That's amazing. There are penises and butts everywhere in the show.
Everywhere. Fantastic. On the jerseys.
They everywhere. Know what show they're making. This is a show about fucking.
Janai, do you know this? That the Montreal jerseys are a butt? It's someone on all fours.
Oh, yeah.
And the Raiders is a dick and balls.
Have you seen the one of like zoomed in on like Shane's shirt when they're at the pool in episode 5?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I have.
Yeah, he's also got dicks in his shirt. Yeah. It's
a very phallic show.
Yeah. I mean,
dicks in his shirt, dicks on his mind.
Yeah, absolutely. They also like, as he's making this smoothie, they like have such longing glances at each other and just the love at first sight of it all. I'm like, guys,
that's not real. Love isn't real.
Oh, I love that. No, I love this.
No, I hate it because I'm like, don't flirt with people at work. They can't get away from you. Like, it's not fair.
That is true.
Very true. Very true. But Kip also like isn't wearing any gloves. He doesn't put any ice in the blender. And like, I get it from like a production standpoint. You can't put ice in the blender and then turn it on because the sound, that would just be a disaster. But like.
But that's why his smoothie is watery. It's such a watery smoothie.
He doesn't like wash his hands or anything after he was like touching his little textbook from God knows where. And
straight up fingers the banana.
Yeah.
Like, I can't.
The food safety. Well, no, the fingering of the banana, that is definitely, foreplay in a sense. I'm very glad that Scott does not pay with a sweaty $20 bill as he does in the book, because I would gag. I gagged reading it. If I had to see it, I would gag even more.
You touched my banana? Here, have a sweaty 20.
Girl. Iconic and incredible. Because that's the next thing that happens.
Girl.
I love it. Dude.
Backwards Hat Man comes in and is like, was that Scott Hunter? And we get another girl.
Dude.
Yeah, brother. This episode is a real win for the girl and dude are gender neutral, because like Maria calls Kip girl and he calls her dude.
I also need Ilya in season 2. Like, girl. Because Connor's talked about how that's the hardest word for him to say.
And he's like, I think I only say it once, which, shows what kind of show we're making. I can't do I can't do a Russian accent anyway, but like, it comes out way too Gru when I tried to do Ilya's like, girl.
You sound like a Disney villain. Like,
say it again.
Girl. I am Gru from Despicable Me.
You're gonna steal the moon. That's all I'm doing.
The blue moon over Brooklyn is what I'm stealing.
The wateriest smoothie ever.
Yeah. Doesn't even look like a good smoothie. That's how in love he is already with this man. He takes the shittiest watery smoothie and is like, this is the best smoothie I've ever had and I need to go back. So then we're watching hockey at the Kingfisher. I love sports at the gay bar. Fantastic.
I love eating Rivalry at the gay bar.
Oh, yeah.
If you're in the Nashville area, you probably know what Lipstick Lounge is. In the back, they've opened something called Chapstick Lounge, and it's sports ball for all, and I highly recommend it. It's wonderful.
Ooh.
Incredible.
I love that.
We also get the lore here that Kip is a nickname for Christopher. Could be worse. Guess he could be Topher.
Or Trip.
Or Kit. There's a lot of weird nicknames for Christopher.
I like Kit.
I like Kit, but it's like, how do you get Kit out of Christopher?
You don't. It's just like one of those things. Like, how do you get Dick out of Richard? Like, I don't know.
You asked nicely.
I set myself up for that.
One line in this episode that I really hate is Sean saying, like, it's short bus for Christopher. Like, dude, the ableism?
Yeah. They're always no matter what you watch, there's always going to be one line that you're just like, huh? Out of left field.
Just like,
that's this.
Did we need that? No.
You're like, how did this make the final cut?
Yeah. And then the other thing he says in this conversation, he's like, when Kip's like, he's definitely not gay, and Sean's like, then make him gay, Jesus Christ. Which, like, that one is at least funny, but also I'm like, you can't make someone gay. Like, why are
you can if you have a dream.
Dick's so good, it turned him gay.
Ooh.
But also, like, if he's having sex with you, like, he's probably already gay. Anyway.
I want to point out here, as the hockey fan, there is a wardrobe mistake in the hockey game that's happening on TV. I think it's Anaheim and New York, and they are both wearing colors. So in hockey, if you are at home, you wear your colors, and when you're away, you wear white. So that's how you can differentiate what team is home and which is away. However, some people did say that the NHL has started doing like some color on color games, but this was 2014. They did not do this back then. There was one game in 2014 that kind of popularized the idea of doing color on color, but this was not like a regular or even occasional thing that was happening in 2014. So it is just like costuming mistake, and that's totally fine. I'm not mad about it. I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah.
I just overall am bummed that they didn't make the Kingfisher like more of a thing in the episode, because it's like so important in the book and then also later on in the series. And I just like, I wanted that to be better.
Yeah, my hope for season 2 is that we get more of the Scott Kip situation. Because,
do you?
Yes, I do. Because I think there are a lot of things about Scott and Kip that it's like it's not even about them. It's about like what it means to other people, and the Kingfisher is one of them. Like, because like I'm thinking about spoilers for Role Model, I guess. Like Ilya taking Troy to the Kingfisher is like a huge thing. Like baby's first gay bar experience, and we didn't really emphasize this gay bar, I think, the way that we should have.
Can we also mention the fact that Ilya repeatedly goes to gay bars in the book series, and everyone's always like, wow, he's such a nice ally.
Scott Hunter is like so self-obsessed and just like does not notice shit, because this is like he's always like, oh, that's so cool that he's here, what an ally, and oh, that's nice, what an ally, and just like
Ilya Rozanov is here at the gay bar, and also is really great friends with Shane Hollander, who it's kind of an open secret is gay, and also he's friends with all these other gay people, and like what a great ally. It's just like
the fact that like
heterosexuality is a hell of a drug.
It really is. I love that everybody was like watching it and they were like, oh my god, Scott clocked them so fast. In the book, no, he did not. That man did not think a single other person around him was gay. He thought he was the first gay man ever.
Scott's like, I invented being gay, actually. And all these other people are like, you didn't. Scott's had a queer teammate the whole time. Eric is literally there.
Well, here's the thing, is like this joke fits in later as well, but we were talking about the fact that like Ilya was like, I didn't clock Scott Hunter, and I will never make that mistake again. I'm gonna clock every fucking queer person.
Ilya had to clock everybody
ever.
else.
He was like, never making this mistake again.
And part of that makes me so sad. Like, he is such a good ally because he can't be his out and proud self yet. Because also, like, it is a thing that, like, the second he comes out as bi, people start to clock him and Shane. So
I love that
can't
canon.
Be open.
I love that canon.
Yes, it's amazing. They're like, oh, the missing piece is not, it has nothing to do with Shane. The missing piece is that, like, we didn't know Ilya was queer. So no one was putting it together because they were like, wow, straight man. Unfortunate.
Oh, God. I also kind of do think that Kyle is flirting with Kip a little bit.
Yeah, he's supposed to. It's part of
Yeah, he's supposed to.
Yeah.
It's definitely in the book that like they are like, ooh, are we gonna? And then they don't. But I did pick up a little bit that Kyle was flirting with Kip. But Kip is so locked in on Scott that he's not picking up on this. So.
I will never forgive them for the casting for Kyle. I love Kyle. And I'm just like, why did you cast this person? That is not how he's supposed to look. He's supposed to be a more important role. Like, why did you just pick a guy who like probably was working at like a bookstore?
Yeah.
Just, like,
because we had $35 in a dream. Like, we
So people who've only watched the show won't know this, but Kyle is a main character in one of the books of the series. So we are being introduced to one of the leads.
Yeah. But I also think when you're making a show, you have to kind of think of the future, but also you can't really, like, you can't make decisions for season 1 based on hypothetical seasons that might happen later. So I think like you have to consider, like, we may get to season 2 and we may need to address like Kyle and give him this bigger role, but also season 2 is not a guarantee. And so we can't necessarily make casting choices based on things that we don't know are going to happen, you know? So it's like, I understand why he is cast the way that he is, but I also think it could potentially be an issue later.
I have so much trust in Jacob Tierney for the work that he's done so far that I'm almost like, okay, I don't see your vision, but I'm going to trust you. But also, I don't know if you guys saw the interview that Connor Story did with Today, but he was talking about how when he first like was in costume and he met Rachel Reed, that she wouldn't even look at him, and he was like, oh no, like I'm not what she was imagining. And then he was like, she wouldn't look at me, but she was like, you're perfect. And he was like, oh, thank God. But she was like, and even she has talked about, she's like, I don't know what Ilya looked like before. Like, he's just perfect. He is Ilya. He's perfect. And so I'm like, you know, I trust that Jacob Tierney is finding the perfect people, even if we don't get it yet. Because I think if you go and look at like Connor's headshot from when he was announced as being Ilya, I wasn't in the fandom at the time, so I wasn't paying any attention, but I'm sure that fans were like, what?
Yeah, who is this?
Like, what is this? This is not rugged. Because if you know anything about Connor's story, it was 2 years ago. He did not look rugged at all.
Yeah.
Bleached hair, piercings, you know, so.
But dang, did he body this role? What a guy.
Yeah. Now, Mal, did you learn anything about hockey at all from the show?
So it was only sort of something I learned from the show, and it's because I Googled it. I was like, what the hell is a hat trick? They keep saying it. When you score 3 goals in a game, it's a hat trick. One. That's the one thing that I learned. Then I've learned some more things from like fan fiction and consuming
I learned what
various.
a center was, but like kind of because I looked it up from their conversation when they were like, "Oh, you would have him center me," but that's like in a different episode. So.
Also, you called me before the hockey game that you went to last night, and you were like, "Explain hockey to me. What's the goal?" And I was like, you want to get the puck in the net.
Basketball, soccer, hockey, lacrosse, they're all the same sport with like slight rule variations. Like that's what they are. Robert and I did go to a women's hockey game last night. I had a great time. We were sitting there in the stands like, okay, so when can we come back? Because
they're really fun.
They're so fun. Like, I had such a great time.
Such good vibes.
I got to go to an NHL game this week for the first time in years, and it was fantastic. It was great.
We have our second Smoothie interaction with Scott and Kip. Scott comes back in. It's like, you know, when something goes right, I gotta repeat everything, same as the last time. And so, you know, that includes the flirting. Maria is once again here, watching this whole thing. Get another girl. Love her. And then we meet Elena. And it has been a big thing where people on the internet talk about, like, thinking that they are the same person. I also sort of initially thought that they were the same person because I was like, why would there be a second woman?
Like, I'm also like, okay, they're not even the same ethnicity.
Oh, I know.
Like, people are not looking at the screen. God damn it.
Like, okay, she comes in a dark bar and there's
dark
no
hair.
Like, he doesn't be like, oh, Elena, you're here. Like, doesn't call her a different name.
So Elena, my second female friend.
So I was just like, okay, right, the woman, the one woman in this romance thing, because that's like, it makes it like they all have one woman except for Scott. So I guess that's why Kip gets 2, because Scott doesn't have any female friends. But like, Ilya has Svetlana, Shane has Rose. Who else has a female friend? That's all I've got.
Hayden has his wife.
Hayden has his wife.
Hayden has Jackie.
Harris has his coworker. No?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Jen.
So my thing with the...
Ryan has one female... No, Fabian has one female friend. I think. Ryan has no friends. Like, let's just do it. Eric doesn't have any female friends, but Kyle has Maria, so
yeah.
I guess Maria's not Kip's female friend. She's
no, they
Kyle's
definitely
introduced.
Friend.
Kyle's one female
no,
friend.
they introduced in my mind. So my thing with the introduction of all of these people in Kip's life that like they don't get a true introduction is that I know a lot of people were saying like, oh, he doesn't greet them, you don't know who they are to him. But like I actually think the show did a good job at like not over explaining all of it, because it just like indicated that Kip had like a pretty robust like social network.
Yeah.
And he had a lot of people in his life. And then when he starts dating Scott, he literally like becomes so isolated.
Right.
And because
God,
they
what a
only
red
did
flag.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I can't. Yeah, I'm not gonna get on my soapbox yet. But
Yet.
But like, because they were consolidating that entire book into one episode, I did not care that it wasn't like all dedicated, whatever. They had 50 minutes, and I'm like, oh, okay. It's clear that like Kip has a bunch of friends, and it's clear that now he doesn't talk to anyone and just sits in his boyfriend's penthouse.
Yeah. So I will say it is, if you make it past this conversation still thinking that these women are the same, something is wrong with you.
Then you're racist.
Because she also is like, what does Maria think?
If you see her face and you still think, then sorry, we're done.
Like,
if you see the back of her head and her walking in and you're like, oh, and then you see her face and you still don't realize one of them has a mole on her face. Like, they're literally different ethnicities. If you look at them and you think they're the same person, you're racist.
Yes, they are very clearly different people. But like initially, I understand the desire to look and be like, yes, that is the one woman that is his female friend.
We have the ad on TV.
Yes.
However, again, I will point out this ad that Shane is that's on the TV. Shane films this ad in the summer of 2016.
Well,
and we're still in 2014.
Again, the timeline gets so fucky in this episode, and it's
okay.
We
still love it. It's okay.
Timeline contradictions in My Gay Hockey Show, more likely than you think.
It absolutely kills me. It kills me that Kip has not thought ahead to, like, Elena has to be the one to be like, okay, so when's his next home game? Are you working then? Like, trying to get him to see Scott again. I'm like, what do you mean? Because I want to be friends with someone, and I am like plotting and scheming how we can see each other and how are we going to become friends, and like if I become friends with this person, like can this person introduce me to this person, and like
Taylor Swift's mastermind, okay? Like
right.
Yeah.
Listen, I Taylor Swift masterminded becoming friends with Robert, and then I Taylor Swift masterminded becoming friends with Camille, and so like
and then Ilya Taylor Swift masterminded being in a commercial with Shane.
Right.
Like, come on.
You gotta be a schemer. You gotta put the effort
to the bit.
You gotta like
they're just like Scott and Kip are just two men. Like that's what it comes down to. Is like all the other men are like very dynamic and interesting main characters, but then Scott and Kip are just boys. They're just gay. That's it.
Yeah.
To like
the whole thing.
Actually be a little bit more serious about it though, do we think that the difference is kind of that like Scott and Kip are grown men who know that they are gay, and then also when we meet Shane and Ilya, they're boys. They are literally 17 years old. They are boys. They're not girls. They're boys.
They're not girls. They're boys.
And they are still figuring out their sexualities and understanding. I mean, Ilya a lot less. Ilya's kind of got it. He's figured it out. It doesn't matter. He's like, yeah, well.
I like what feels good.
Shane has no idea what's going on. And so I almost think that like they are masterminding because they're trying to figure themselves out in a way. Shane and Ilya discover a lot about themselves through each other.
Right. I mean, I think Shane and Ilya are completely different from any of the other relationships that we see in the series. Like, everybody else knows that they're queer. Nobody else is discovering that about themselves through this relationship. So they're already very different. I think Scott and Kip are kind of boring because the main conflict is that like nobody has done this before. Nobody has been openly gay in the NHL or the MLH
still to this day.
The show.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of the main conflict. And sometimes you have to get the like you have to take that first step. Sometimes the first step also has to be the most like socially acceptable option, because I think, you know, if Shane and Ilya had tried to be the first ones to come out, you have all these extra pieces to it. Like you have the fact that they're rivals, the fact that they
they're
are
heated
both hockey players, the fact that their rivalry is heated.
The Russian,
yeah.
I don't know. I think
the boy next door. Well, I think the thing is there are a lot of illusions about Holanov that would be shattered.
Yes.
With Skip, it's one illusion is that Scott is straight, and that's shattered.
Yeah. To defend Scott and Kip's boringness, it's like it feels like him being boring sort of allows for him to be the one to open that door.
Mm-hmm.
And be the one who is able to take that step, because there's not the other
because he's white and like not an immigrant,
right?
And like he's like dating somebody who's not in there, and he's rich and he just won the cup, and it's like, yeah,
right. Like it's sort of the safest of the relationships. Like it's the least complicated.
That I literally had the thought, and it was a little bit of a pessimistic thought for me as I was digesting episode 5. When I watched it, I had this thought of like, oh, good job, Scott. You finally like hit your career high, so now you can risk everything. And I that's it feels unfair to say. I understand the struggle. I understand the pain, the trouble of all of it. Like, I get it. I do.
Like, I understand being a professional hockey player.
Yeah,
me as someone who understands what it's like to be a professional hockey player, I understand what you're going through, Scott Hunter.
I had that thought of like, oh, good for you. You just hit your career high. You will never be better than this. Now you can risk it.
Yeah, but I mean, I also think that that's like...
And I know that's not the thought process. I know the thought process is, this is my biggest platform ever, and I'm going to declare my love in a very, very big way on the biggest stage that I will ever have access to.
Right.
I know that's the thought process, but the pessimist in me was like, oh, now that there's less at stake. Sure.
I think his thought process wasn't even like necessarily that to defend Scott, which I like don't love doing. But like,
you're so brave, Janai.
He's literally like
break the glass ceiling, do it.
Okay. I'm like physically repulsing myself. But is that like he thinks that like he can have it all by like keeping his boyfriend in secret and then like achieving all of this, but like when he wins, he realized that like he's fucking lonely, and like that like it didn't matter that he won because like he couldn't celebrate with anybody other than his teammates, and like that was,
and his teammates are with their families.
Yeah, exactly. So like that's when it like connects for him that like, oh, I understand why this secret sucks for Kip, because he can't share me in his big moments either. And but he didn't like have those big moments before because he didn't win.
Right. And now he's also older. He's got to a point where everybody's got kids and everything. Now I will say, like, if there's a professional hockey player, if you go to a game and you're like, I'm going to get me a hockey player, and you're like, he's 18, he probably doesn't have a girlfriend. Wrong. He brought one with him from Sweden. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Like, they all have women, okay? There is not a single player who is single that you will never. Yeah. Okay?
The hockey players are all partnered up. They all got their wags.
Yeah.
Kip has switched his shift. He's working on Saturday. Scott comes in, but this time we're mixing it up, and he wants to stick around to answer some emails. And so then, as Scott is like answering his emails, or more accurately, taking a serial killer quiz, Kip pulls up his bank account, and I couldn't get it clear enough to actually read what it says, but it definitely looks like it is less than $100 in this bank account.
Oh my God, hold on, because I paused and zoomed in. He has $188.63.
Okay, I can't
But
read.
The withdrawals show just like a bunch of credit card payments and utility bills.
Twins.
His mobile bill, his utilities bill, his credit card payment, a monthly checking charge, a credit card payment.
What's in my bank account before I flame Kip? Gotta make sure I have more money than him, because...
Yeah, I can't participate in this. I feel like it's gonna bring bad karma.
Yeah, no, listen, like, this is real. This is real.
I like this moment where he's looking at this stuff that's super heavy for him, and then he looks up at Scott and smiles, and there's something very tender about that, and I don't I actually talked recently about, like, this idea of, like, people get mad because they're like, ugh, why are the characters in romance novels always rich? And I'm like, because poverty is not romantic and it's not sexy. And if anyone is trying to make you think that it is, there is an agenda there. They are trying to make you feel complacent in poverty. They're trying to sexualize it and make it look romantic. It's not. It's awful. Okay? Food insecurity is not sexy. There is nothing about that will ever be sexy. So do not let someone with money try to convince you that you having less money is better than them being able to afford whatever they want.
The starving artist propaganda is...
It's just, as I was a full-time student my senior year, and I was also like a full-time employee because of things that I got around to make sure I could afford to live. And I'm always tired, but I still have like never been that tired in my life as I was that year that I was doing that. It was horrible, which is why I can attest to the fact that I don't know how Kip is so ripped, because he wouldn't
How does he have time
or energy to go to the gym.
It's all the bananas he's lifting.
Yeah. No, that like actually took me out of the episode. I was like, how is he so ripped? Like, it'd be kind of weird in this show that's full of like these buff ripped men to all of a sudden have this guy who's just like a regular guy, but like that's what Kip is. Like he's just a guy.
Hit him with your car.
Yeah.
I was thinking that. I was
like, no, being so ripped and buff, I'm like, dude, how did you have time for that?
The answer to this is that Robbie GK is a rugby player. So, like, I mean, we're just nitpicking. We're just being bitchy. It's just for the bit. It's a joke. Please don't think we're actually seriously being like, he should have gained weight for the role. No. It's not that serious. We're just joking. But yeah, Robbie GK is a rugby player, so that's why he looks like that.
Yes.
I want to point out there is art on the wall in front of Scott. And if you are familiar, there's a game show called Game Changer. And this is their logo, but flipped. So brilliant art choice.
That's the name of
That's
their
amazing.
Book. Wow.
That's the name of the book. Wow. Also, I did notice that there's watermelon art on the wall behind Kip. And I understand there's tons of like fruit imagery and art and all this kind of stuff. But I also know that Jacob Tierney has been very outspoken about supporting Palestine. And so I saw that, and that's what made me think of it. And also, free Palestine. If you are unaware, no, that is not over. That conflict is not resolved. They are still bombing Palestine. Google it. Inform yourself. Educate yourself.
Oh, wait. I love that he asks if he can check his emails there, where there's clearly bar stools and like people are allowed to sit in store.
People are allowed to sit. Also, like, it is kind of, I'm sorry, a red flag to start talking about serial killers. Like, if I was talking to, I mean, I would never be talking to a man in a flirtatious way, but if I was and he was like, oh, I couldn't be a serial killer, I'd be like, I'm in danger, I have to go.
That's okay. Now, I will say, this is definitely one of those moments where you're like, this is written by a man, because this would never fly. Yeah. You could be having, like, if you had a man and a woman having this conversation, hopefully the woman would be like, oh no, sorry,
no, I can't do
this. We're not doing this. So I'm going to cut all of that because it was too chaotic, but I will say we did just take a could you be a serial killer quiz, and we all got thank you for ordering the Crazy Cat Lady starter kit. You're definitely not a serial killer. You don't have the balls. So Scott says that serial killers make him feel less obsessive.
Okay, King.
Okay.
My God, have you tried anti-anxiety medication?
Could work. Yeah. And then we get the Kip saying the hot lumberjacks line. And in the book, this is something he specifically says to kind of test the waters and see if, like, Scott is actually flirting. And, you know, in both cases it works because Scott invites him to the game. Huge.
He gets really uncomfortable and then invites him to the game.
Right.
I really wish we had got the beards. We didn't get any playoff beards.
I know, no playoff beards. I love that he takes, you know, Elena to the game with him, and she says, it's a weird first date, but I'm into it. He's at work, you're with a girl, like...
That was really funny.
But also, like, Kip's been at work this whole time. Like, they're always at work. And Scott hits him with the cool guy nod, and then with the less cool guy wave, and both times...
And then another wave!
Yes,
Jesus Christ.
Kip is like, is that for me? No, surely he's talking to someone behind me. Like, dude, you are in his seats. Of course he's gonna, like, acknowledge you.
But, this is one thing that I feel, it's not believable to me, because in the book, Scott nods, and that's it. just once, which is like, yeah, of course, because why would he be like, hey, you're trying to get his attention? Everybody would be like, who's he waving at? Like, you're outing yourself, my guy. What are you doing?
Which is why it's the most awkward wave of all time. He's just like raising his arm. Like,
yeah.
Yeah. And also, like, Elena has to make him wave back. Elena honestly is doing the Lord's work, trying to get these two boys to, like, actually do things.
Elena is doing the heavy lifting in this relationship.
I need to introduce Elena to Shane and Ilya because perhaps we could avoid the 7-year-long situationship if she just sat them down and was like, guys.
He literally
9 years.
He like moves the whole plot along because he's like, he's miserable.
No, see, like, that's the problem with like MLM romance. There's not enough women because the men just don't get anything done on their own. Like, you need the women
they
to
get
come
some
in
stuff
and
done though.
Well, yes, the stuff done is each other, but if you want to get beyond that.
That's the problem with MLM romance. There's no women, according to Mal.
Yeah, likely thing for me to say. That's why I have a tab on my phone that's like the Svetlana/Rose Landry tag on AO3.
As you should.
And then we get the first scene I ever saw from the show where Ilya is, you know, fist bumping his team, telling them he loves him.
Good job,
loves them,
good job. I love you. Good job.
I love you. I love you.
I love
you. Good job. I love you. I was
like, and I love that we are continuing the time-honored tradition of like having Ilya just kind of show up to rage bait the other characters. Like, that's his job in the Game Changer universe. He just kind of comes in, rage baits, leaves, collects gay people as he goes. Love him. So our first introduction to Ilya Rozanov in the Game Changers universe is Ilya getting punched in the face by Scott because he said that he's disappointed to hear that Scott is good at hockey again. And he gets punched in the face.
No, I think what happens is that he was like, oh, I heard you were good at hockey again. I guess I was mistaken. And Scott just like drops, well, no, he doesn't even drop his gloves. He punches him in the face with his gloves on, which is against the rules. You have to drop your gloves to fight. And then later in the book, he's like, oh, he's fine. I had my gloves on. And I'm like, that would hurt so bad. That's worse.
Well, no, that's just like incredibly funny to me that I'm just like, yeah, of course our first introduction to Ilyas. Him rage baiting Scott into a fight. Of course. But we do get Shane here. And this is one of my favorite things that we have added because it is so funny.
It's so good.
You have Shane giving the like cutest little chirp of all time.
The most lukewarm chirp I've ever heard in my life.
Hope next time we play you decide to show up, Mr. Hunter. And then Scott just like disproportionately drops the conversational equivalent of an atomic bomb and is like, you're starting to sound like that guy that you're fucking. Which, like, of course, Scott hasn't clocked because Scott is so self-involved here and thinks he invented being gay. But, like, to Shane's like, holy shit, he knows.
So we're all laughing, but I actually want to have a very serious conversation about this. Mal, you and I talked about this about a week ago, okay?
Yes.
This on Scott's end, because again, Scott has not clocked them, okay? This is so fucking homophobic.
My take, it could go either way. Like, he could just like be being homophobic, or he's just like, Shane keeps talking about how like he hates this guy, whatever, but like he's starting to sound like his rival basically, and like, oh, like you might think you're better than him, but like you're not, you're talking just like him, like kind of nonsense.
Yeah, I didn't really interpret it as homophobic either, because it's not as if, because I feel like he could very easily be like, you know, you've been writing Rozanov so much, like you're starting to sound like him, or like.
But that would have made Scott, to the viewers, irredeemable.
Right.
This is a way of having him be redeemable, but like to me, this is super homophobic. This is actually Scott playing into the homophobia of the league. This is him slipping into what's just natural talk around him. He's leaning into it. It's a way to defend and protect himself, is to make homophobic jokes.
Yeah, his internalized homophobia really pops off right there.
Right. And so for me, I think this is a very significant moment of like, yes, he's obsessed with Kip, but at the same time, he is still going out onto the ice in men's sports and in a league that is super homophobic, where like you've got fucking from the books Dallas Kent, right, who's making super over the top homophobic comments to people on the ice just to get a
well, yeah,
reaction.
I was about to say it's the Troy Barrett of it all. Like you're so scared of someone finding out your own secret that you swing completely in the other direction and you get homophobic.
Right. And so I also want to put
the more gay you are, the more homophobic you become.
Yes.
So I just feel like I want to put a pin also in Shane's reaction here, because I want to talk about that next week.
Okay.
At even the slightest mention that Shane and Ilya might have something more than just hating each other, Shane completely breaks character and starts a fucking fight. That's not like Shane. Shane is a good, polite Canadian, all-around good guy on the ice and off, right? So to me, I just think it's very important to point out the fact that it doesn't mean anything about, I'm not saying I don't like Scott. I'm not saying that Scott is awful. However, I think it's very important to acknowledge the fact that Scott has this moment of doing exactly what is creating an environment that makes him feel like he is contributing to the environment that is preventing him from coming out. Because that's what's natural. And I don't blame him for that. But I want to point it out, and also point out the fact that this is also contributing to the environment that won't allow Shane to come out. This is a big deal to both of them. This moment, as funny as it is very serious to the, like, very integral to the plot and the entire conflict of the series.
Yeah. No,
and also,
I'm with you.
like, fucking... I like to go back to the goofy of it all. The fact that when he's fighting, we don't hear it, but I read his lips and he says, go home. You're 45 years old.
Go home, you're 45 years old.
Francois is actually like 40, right? Like
39, 40, yeah.
Yeah.
He really has been hanging out with Ilya for too long.
Yeah.
Scott Hunter is 100,000 years old.
Scott Hunter is a dinosaur.
I love that, like, even Hudson was like, I don't know, I just was like, go put some, like, lotion on your knees, old man. Like, and in actuality, Scott is like 4 years older. That's it.
Scott is like, I think
28, 27,
yeah,
maybe?
During the events of...
Yeah, he's only like 3 years older than them or something like that.
Yeah, he's not that old. It's so funny.
I just would love to, like, I've read a bunch of fanfics about it because
Naturally.
I am who I am, but I really wish there was a canon of, like, Ilya giving Shane so much shit for that fight, like, and wanting to know what it was about, and, like, how he, like, tortured it out of him, like, because I know he did.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Camille has come into my notes and put in all caps, you didn't mention Kip's dad. Yeah, I mean, Kip's dad is fun. Kip's dad is great. I kind of miss Kip's mom and his sister and, like, these other people in Kip's life. Like, Kip's dad is great. He's a good dad. I don't have a whole lot to say about Kip's dad.
He's incredible. I love him. As someone who does not have a dad, I'm like, oh my god, I want one. Where can I order one?
Yeah, I feel that. I, like, posted something on Threads about all of his, I said that Kip got the Disney mom treatment. So they could afford Ilya's pasta.
Yeah. Kip has this catering job. He's very frantic as he's getting ready for it. Comes in only
sliding
to
across the floor in his socks, which is very funny to me, personally.
Like, okay, risky business, relax.
And his very tight boxer shorts, because he's sexy. And then, like, he just continues this frantic energy as he gets to the job, takes his little tray of, what are they, tacos? They look like little tacos.
Yeah, probably. Here's the thing, is that, like, the fanciest thing I've been to was a premiere for a television show at the Met. And I can absolutely tell you, they love mini tacos, mini hamburgers.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would make sense. very funny to me that this woman is like, New York used to have professional waiters. Now it's all just models who can't carry a tray. Like, thank you for calling me hot, I guess. Like,
you want to fuck? Like, I'm just here to serve your food.
Sorry, I'm not a career caterer. Like,
and then Scott asks Kip if he likes Mexican food. Kip says, "Of course, I'm not a serial killer."
Get it? Because they have their little joke. Their little joke.
That's
They're
their
cute.
little bit. Again, only a funny bit for men. Because, like, if this was a woman, she would be scared.
I mean, I also want to say it's fucking bold for Scott to be like, oh, it is a great Mexican place, while also low key being like, I'm trying to get in Kip's pants. I'm like, you're playing with fire there, my guy.
Oh my god,
yeah, so true.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, that's fair. I wonder if the Mexican food was honestly just a cover for him trying to get Kip home to order in. Yes. Like, I wonder if he knew it was going to be crowded, and so...
I gotta be honest, I'd be pissed because, like, if I had worked that whole event and not had any food, and then I was promised food, and then I didn't get any, I'd be so upset.
There's sausage at home.
Oh god.
But then they go to Scott's apartment and Scott starts undressing to have sex, and I would be so pissed. I was like, guys, you promised we would order in. Where's my dinner? The order that I am picking is dinner.
I also love that, like, they had obviously been flirting, and he was like, do you want to order in and come to my place? Yeah. But he just, like, starts taking off his clothes. There's no conversation. There's no indication. Like,
what's that fucking TikTok that's like, hey, where your clothes at?
Yeah.
No, when Scott starts taking his clothes off, though, it reminds me of How I Met Your Mother and, like, the naked man.
The naked man works 2 out of 3 times.
And I mean, it does work. It does work.
He does choose or. Uh-huh. Do you want the full tour now or?
Or. I pick or.
I pick or.
You have to do the head nodding.
Incredible line. That is such a...
Yeah, it's a good line.
Mm.
That is a banger.
The or that he should be picking is dinner. Feed that boy.
Damn it, I really wanted to give you the tour.
Also, it is important to me that everyone knows that in the book, Scott does bottom the first time they sleep together, and...
Correct. And the second time, and they're very verse. But I do wonder, like, why we didn't get that for the show. I would have liked to have seen that, because I would have liked to have, like, busted that stereotype that, like, these big rugged hockey players or, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Because we know that Shane and Ilya are not verse at all. Right. Like, at all. It's not even something that the two of them want to consider. They're just like, yeah, no thanks. We tried a little, and it was just,
we do what we do, and it works for us.
Yeah. So it's a little disappointing to not get to see that.
Yeah, it's, like, kind of implied, because later Kip's like, can I fuck you? And Scott's like, yes. Yeah. But it's not...
Absolutely.
Not me advocating for, like, more men having sex on my screen, but, like, I wish that we had seen that.
You're such a good lesbian.
What an ally.
Listen, I watch the gay hockey smut show for the plot.
I love that neither of them have any hang-ups about sex, though. Mm-hmm. Because, like, we don't get this is a bad idea. We don't get any hesitation about, like, I don't, like, should we do this or what are we doing? There's none of that. And so I do like the confidence that the both of them go into it with. I appreciated that.
Yeah, like, this is, it's not treated any differently than, you know, if he was having sex with a woman. Because I think sometimes this show gets kind of a reputation for being, like, so dirty and, like, so much sex. And it's like, I've seen worse with heterosexual couples. Yes. Like, we treat it like it's this horrible, terrible thing because they're gay and because we have decided that is something that, like, we should see
taboo
less of. Yeah, and I'm like,
the only reason it's like salacious is because it's two men.
Because
like,
they're gay. Yeah,
it's literally not that intense at all.
The only reason it's yucky and bad for me is because they talk about their feelings.
Okay, Robert.
Jacob Tierney actually had a conversation with the boys about this, and he told them in advance. He was like, I want to warn you that people are going to act like this is crazy and super, super raunchy because it's two men. And he prepared them in advance. He was like, just be ready for that. Like, that's how this is going to be seen because it's two men.
Not to talk about women, but, like, it reminds me of, but I'm a cheerleader. That's, like, rated R, and just because it's two girls, even though there's literally nothing about it that would be rated R in terms of that. It's just
wait, explain what you just said, because is that a reference? I don't know it.
But I'm a Cheerleader is
you don't know But I'm a Cheerleader? Oh,
that's sad.
That's it's I don't know. It feels like quintessential
What's it
queer
from?
woman movie.
It's a movie that is like extremely like iconic in the sapphic community.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's the title of the movie.
Yes, but I'm a cheerleader. She can't be a lesbian. She's a cheerleader.
Right.
Okay. And so that's like double raunchy. She can't be both.
But there's like, it's all like fade to black. I don't even think they say the word fuck in it. Like, there's like nothing that should make it rated R, but it is.
But it's two women, so that means it's dirty and it's wrong, and
Oh, interesting. No, I love that. Thank you for explaining that.
Women have been suffering for longer than men. That's all I have to say.
Women have been suffering for longer than men. That reminds me tangentially in the in a medical journal or medical whatever. I think it's like a section about the clit, and it's like, oh, like, you know, all the science, blah 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 blah. Men were made aware of it in like the 1800s or whatever. Women have been aware of it the entire time.
So true.
So, because I am the one who is attracted to men and not Mal, I will talk about this sex scene. So many exclamation points. And then I put Jeebus Crisp. Scott grabs Kip by the shirt and yoinks him off the mattress.
That's sexy. No, that is sexy.
That is so sexy.
That's a solid move.
I can appreciate like desire on screen, regardless of gender. Like, so, yeah, definitely.
I like the artfulness of like the blue and the dark lighting, and I like the, you know, the technicalities of showing intimacy in like, and there are certain things like Kip grabs the sheets and pulls them up a little bit, and it covers just enough so that you don't see what's happening, and it's like, that's brilliant. But I'm also like, bro, turn the fucking lights on. You can't see him.
No, if you turn the lights on, it becomes gay. You can't have sex with socks on. You can't have sex with lights on. You can't have sex with eye contact. All that makes it gay, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, but they already know that it's.
You know what also makes you gay is sucking my dick.
Shane and Ilya are the ones who. Yeah.
No, it's
Shane
just
and Ilya are the ones who it's not gay yet.
Don't bring Ilya into this.
Sorry, Shane. Yeah, Shane, it's not gay yet.
So, there's also the line that Scott says, "You're so beautiful." And I personally wish that we heard this more from Shane and Ilya in the show, because they do talk like this to each other.
Yeah.
More so Ilya to Shane, but Ilya does compliment Shane physically. There's a point in the book, and I don't remember, I believe it's He Did Rivalry near the end, and Shane says something about Ilya being hot, and Ilya's like, oh, Shane Hollander, you've never called me hot before.
Yeah.
But so I do wish that we got this more. I almost think that like people would have appreciated or maybe understood better if we got a little bit more of that from Shane and Ilya.
Yeah, I honestly, I think I would have, like, if we had gotten a little more of the tenderness, I would have enjoyed at least the beginning of the season.
I kind of disagree for at the beginning of the season. Like, I'm glad we don't get that because like they're such internal characters. Like, even in their book, there's just like, which is, I think, having Svetlana be a different role in the show than she is in the books is so important, because Ilya would like talk to no one if it was.
He has no one.
Ilya has no one, which is crazy.
He literally just like everything he's processing is internal. So in the beginning, when they're not talking about stuff to each other, like he's not telling other people that like he's beautiful or anything like that. Like, I think we're gonna get a lot of that in season 2 or whenever they adapt like the long game.
It's like wild how few people Ilya has in his life. Like, we don't really get to know any of his teammates other than like Cliff, Marlowe, and like we barely know anything about him at all. And that's kind of it. Like, I don't know anybody who plays for Boston.
It's very reminiscent of the lyric, you kept me like a secret, but I kept you like an oath. Because Shane keeps Ilya like a secret, which, like, you can tell people secrets. But Ilya keeps him like an oath. Like, you don't break an oath. He does not tell anybody.
The thing, so, like, the isolation really bothers. Can I talk about the long game? Should I not talk about
no, we can just, like, preface it so that people know.
Spoiler warning for the long game.
Yeah.
I might be mentioning spoilers. The thing that like bothers me about Scott and Kip is the isolation element of it. And then people are like, oh, well, you must hate it in the long game as well. But like, the thing is like, he isn't as isolated as they're making Kip. Like, Kip literally like feels like he can't hang out with his friends and he can't hang out with his family and he just has to sit there. Ilya has to keep a secret, and that's isolating. But he's still able to hang out with his team. He's still able to hang out with Shane's family. And yes, they're Shane's family, but he's still able to go and talk with them and talk about his son, with
he's
him.
Una Hollander's favorite son.
Exactly. Right. And like, he and Hayden hate each other, but love each other. And like, so there's just like so much.
Oh no, not Montreal's 15th best hockey player.
Listen, friends who pretend to hate each other for the bit still are like I love that.
I love it so much.
The number one thing that Ilya and Hayden have in common is that they love Shane. And to Ilya, that is the most important thing in his life. And so he's like, you know what? I can see through differences as long as you love Shane too.
But that's why I like don't feel as strongly about the isolation element for any of the other couples in the series as I do about Kip, because like Kip goes from like having like so many people to literally no one.
Right.
Well, and Kip is also out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, you've made him go back into the closet.
Yes.
Like, so aggressively.
Yeah, it's...
And then he's allowed to tell Elena, but like...
Yeah. And I mean, Ilya's isolation does like break my heart in the long game, and the long game is such a tough read.
Oh my god, yes. I stopped the whole time.
It is different. Like, I'm not looking at that and thinking like, Ilya, you've got to get out of there. Like, you need to be not in this relationship.
Yeah, I'm not like red flag, red flag, red flag.
It's like, just...
I love the verbalization of, I can't believe you're into me, and I am so into you, I can't stop thinking about you. That's great. I love that. And I love the comparison of the fact that they are communicating. Shane and Ilya are not saying these things. They are saying these things. So.
I'm just going to say, like, that's a pretty low bar for communication, though.
It is, yeah.
But it's not negging.
That's true.
Yeah. The communication is so interesting because there are times that I'm like, yes, you guys are communicating really well. And then there are times that I'm like, communicate more. And that almost makes it worse because it's like, you can...
I know you know how to.
You know how to do this. And yet... Because like, I'm thinking...
At the point in the book where Kip is just like suffering. And I'm like, they're not communicating at all.
Right.
Kip is fucking miserable.
But I'm thinking about, like, the scene the next morning after Kip makes the smoothie, when Scott kind of, like, U-hauls the fuck out of this relationship and is like, I'm going to say a bunch of things, I'm going to be too intense, can I be too intense? Love, number one, that he gets consent to have this kind of intense conversation. And then he's like, I've never brought anyone home, and, you know, I was going to just, like, wait until hockey was over to, you know, even explore this, but, like, I want you so bad. And, like, just this, I'm like, this is good communication. This is him saying, this is exactly what I'm feeling right now. I know it's really intense. Here's where I'm at. Where are you at? And like, that's so important to me because like Shane and Ilya do not do this.
And they do not stay the night.
Yes, we get even close to this, and then like Shane's running and getting a girlfriend, you know? So this is like that's the one example of like good communication between them in this. And I'm like, Scott, you know how to do this. You have been open with him before and it has worked well. So why are we not having conversations throughout this episode about like what we want and what we are expecting from this relationship? Like, they even do a better job in the book of like, I mean, obviously the like coming out thing is an issue, and they
at least fight in the book.
They don't. Yeah, they don't even.
It's just Elena saying that he's sad, and Scott being like, he's sad? What do you mean?
Yeah, but they like in the book have a whole conversation where, and I guess we get, and we'll talk about this more later with like the speech, and like parts of the speech are also what's in this like conversation that they have in the book. But in the book, Scott at least is like, okay, can you give me until the end of the season? And then we can figure out exactly what's going on. Like, can you, like, it's not this, like, I'm going to keep you secret for years thing. It's like I don't know if I can figure this out right now because there's too much going on. I really like you. Can we revisit this? And, like, I think Kip would be willing to make that. I mean, obviously, because it's the same fucking character, but I'm like, show Kip would be willing to go with him if he would just fucking talk to him.
Because there's a timeline in that. He's like, I need 3 months. Like, it's very clear, like, in his communication, like, we can talk about this, like, in 3 months when I'm not in fucking playoffs.
Right, like we can figure this out, but there's none of that in this episode, which is such a bummer because this first communication is really good. Like I love this scene in the kitchen. I also love that like the fact that Scott has all the ingredients in his kitchen means that he could have been making these smoothies for himself the whole time, but he's been going to get them from Kip.
And also, okay, y'all want to complain about tuna breath, but Kip doesn't even have a goddamn toothbrush here.
That is true. Yeah.
And they be fucking.
Yeah.
No, in my mind, Scott gets him one. Scott gives him an extra toothbrush. Who doesn't have an extra toothbrush in their house? That's insane.
That's crazy, Camille.
Why?
Didn't you give me an extra toothbrush when I stayed with you?
I bought it specifically because you were coming to town. Because I love you, idiot.
Get loved, idiot.
Get loved, bitch.
Okay. I feel loved.
This is the equivalent of Ilya stocking Shane's ginger ale.
Yes. You got me a toothbrush. I think I love the bit in the kitchen just because I was going to kind of ignore this thing until I met the person that made it impossible to ignore, because that was so me, like as I was growing up realizing that I was queer, because I like grew up very evangelical, and as I started to realize like this thing was what I am, I was kind of like, well, it's fine, no one has to know, I just like will marry a man, it's fine. And then sort of realized that, oh shit, I don't think I am actually attracted to men. And then it was like, well, it's fine because I just like won't have a girlfriend. Like it's fine, it won't happen. And like, I mean, I haven't met the person who's like made it impossible to hide that, but I don't know, I was just like, I felt seen by that because I spent so long being like, oh yeah, here's this thing that's true about me, but like I'm not gonna tell anyone because I don't want people to know this thing. So I don't know, I was just like, I feel seen.
I'm going to say a thing.
Okay, say a thing.
Hello, my loves. This is Editor Camille. You are about to witness a very emotional and vulnerable moment from me. And while I appreciate your support, I also appreciate your discretion and would ask that if you want to support me or say anything, that you refrain and in lieu just put like a pink heart emoji in the comments, and I will know what you were trying to say. Thank you. So, my family does not listen to this podcast, and I certainly hope they're not listening now. So this is not, I just like ask for people's discretion with what I'm about to say.
Come out, come out, come out.
Is that
peer pressure?
Yeah, so like please don't post about this or say anything about this like in our comments section or clip this or anything. I don't think anyone clips our podcast but me, but I am not straight. I am bi, and I've not said that. I've been like forcibly outed before in front of a bunch of coworkers, and it was really awful. And I'm not at a place in my life where I feel like I'm comfortable like coming out to certain people in my family. And so I've had a lot of frustration lately, especially with interacting with, I'm trying to like bury this in the middle of the episode just in case, but I've had a lot of frustration lately interacting with this media, specifically because it feels like we're entering a moment where people are like, well, I want to see your gay card before you're allowed to have an opinion. And like for people like me, that's not something we can do. But this media is still very important, and it still means a lot.
Right. And I mean, I think it's true with like the actors as well. Like people want them to show their gay card before they're like playing these roles. And like it's harmful to ask that only gay people interact with a show or like play these roles or whatever. Or
that it's only allowed to mean something, or you're only allowed to have an opinion if you're part of this community, which is how I was forcibly outed before. Is that someone is like, you can't have an opinion on that because you're not part of this community. Yeah, and it was awful. And so I've, in the past week or so, had so much frustration with this fandom and with this IP in particular and the discussion surrounding it, because I have a lot to say about it. And so part of the reason why we decided to do bonus episodes on this and not like a whole new podcast, one is because we don't need a whole new podcast, and two is because
we don't have the time.
Two is because I didn't feel like we were the right people to try to spearhead a conversation about it, especially with me not wanting to be like out.
Yeah.
And because I'm like, none of us are gay men, right?
Right.
And so that's been really heavy. And so I just want to give context to people listening, if you've made it this far, that like, please know that I'm engaging with this media in like from the closet. And so there are a lot of really intense feelings for me that I have not talked about like on social media. I don't want to talk about it because like I know my family will occasionally go and find social media accounts that they know that I have, but I don't think that any of them will be listening this deep into an episode. And so that's why I feel comfortable talking about this now. But there has been so much limitation on the way that I can publicly engage with this simply because of the reality that I live in. And it's not like I don't think that I would be loved, but it's like it would still be a problem for some people in my life that mean a lot to me that I really just need to hold on to because of the circumstances of my life. And so it's limited what I can talk about on social media because I'll get into these discussions with people and they're like, well, as someone who's not queer, you don't understand. And I can't be like, yes, I am.
So actually,
but I can't say that, but I can hear. And so I just want people to understand when they're listening. I'm not going to be bringing this up constantly because like, that's not me. That's not how I want to, but
skill issue. I love to bring up the fact that I'm gay.
But like I've only been to one gay bar in my life, and it was to watch Heated Rivalry episode 6 at a sports bar.
I tried to get you to go to a lesbian bar when we were together in Nashville.
I was in so much pain. I had a stitch in my foot. I could not.
No, I know.
But I just
you stepped on glass.
I did. I stepped on glass. I broke the glass ceiling and then I stepped on it. No, but I've only ever been to one gay bar. And it was like, we'll talk about it when we get there, but I was boo-hooing into a tissue with the conversation conversation with Shane and his mom. So I just want people to understand when you're listening to this that like I am engaging in a way that you don't think that I am. I'm just not talking about it as much because of the limitations that I feel.
Well, this is good because I also wanted to get into my own family stuff when we get to like Scott's speech at the gala. So prepare for my own.
This is the like third time I've cried on this podcast.
Coming out emotions.
Sorry that happened. Being forcibly outed is not okay. And thank you for sharing.
And it was by someone, in the queer community, and so it just feels super ostracizing.
Yeah, that's
to have someone in the community that you want to feel like you belong to do something like that to you in front of a group of people in public is like, oh, I'm not even safe with like people that I thought were like my people.
Yeah,
so
that's awful.
Yeah, it really hurt. It was awful.
We're sorry that happened to you.
I do hate the idea that like you can't engage critically in media if you don't share that identity with somebody, because it's like at the end of the day, this is like a love story, and like that's it. Like the gender doesn't necessarily matter. Like it matters to the story, sure, but like you can relate to parts of it regardless of your gender. Like you can relate to like wanting someone.
Love is a very human emotion.
It's a very human emotion, and like you can still engage critically with the media. You can still enjoy it without it being an issue. And like, you know, I've heard the like, oh, you're not a man, so you can't have an opinion on this. I'm like, okay, I do. Like, I do have an opinion on it, and I don't care.
I think we're running into a lot of misogyny in this fandom because there's been a big discussion recently about who is this media for? Is it for queer men? Is it for women? Who is the audience? And there's been like, I think that's a great discussion to have. I think that it's very, I don't know if you guys heard about, there was like a Heated Rivalry watch party and like a gay man showed up and it was mostly women there, and they decided that they felt uncomfortable with a man there, so they kicked him out.
Yeah, I saw that.
I did not hear about that, but ugh.
Insane. That should never happen. But I also want to acknowledge the fact that there are a lot of queer men who are engaging with this media and trying to defend their misogyny by saying, but I'm a queer man. And I was like, you're still being misogynistic.
Yeah.
Though. Like, you can be a person of color and still be doing racist shit. You can be a queer man and still be misogynistic. It's not a shield. It doesn't protect you from being bigoted or ignorant in some way, right?
No.
And I think that's another layer of frustration that I've had in the past few weeks as this thing has gotten bigger and bigger. It's so frustrating to have everyone be like, well, I've got a gotcha. And I'm like, no, you don't.
I've seen a lot of people be like, oh, this show isn't for women, but like women are watching this show. Or like, I've also seen women be like, I don't want to hear any men's opinions on this show. And it's like, well, no, because media is for anybody who feels like the media speaks to them. Like, it's no one owns this. Like, if you're not a queer man, you can still enjoy this. If you are a queer man, other people are allowed to enjoy this. Like, I just
there's a difference between enjoying and fetishizing.
Yeah. I just think it's really reductive when we do that kind of stuff because, like, it's meant to be consumed. It's meant to be entertaining. And if it is that, like, that's fine.
Like, just trying to police people online is not.
Yeah. Kill the cop in your head. Kill the cop in your head.
Yes. Yeah. A cab, including the cop in your head.
There is one group of people that this is not for, and it is for people who voted against queer people. That is the only group of people that this is not for. Is for transphobes and homophobic people and people who vote against gay marriage and gay rights and trans kids and all of that. This is not for you specifically. And other than that, it's for everybody else.
Preach.
And we get to engage with it in whatever way speaks to our hearts and speaks to making us happy in a world that is awful right now. This show is to bring you joy. This is the romance genre. Welcome. We have happily ever afters. That's the rule.
And thank God, because
we don't kill your gays. We don't bury your gays. Like, that's not this.
Yeah, I think I didn't understand that until this episode. And I think that's why, I mean, not that this episode has a happy ending, but this was the first one that I was like, oh, this is a romance. This is a romance. Like, everything is probably going to be okay by the end of the season. I don't know why that didn't connect with the Shane and Ilya in the first couple episodes, but I didn't really know what I was getting into, I guess. But then, like, reading all the books, like, they're so lovely and they feel so safe because, like, everything's going to be okay. And it's just, I just love them.
That's the comfort of the genre. That's why I love the genre so much, is that everything's going to be okay.
Everything's going to be fine. And we might have some challenges along the way, but everything's going to be fine.
And we might just be happy for now, like we are at the end of this season, which is what we call an HFN, happy for now. And then eventually we will end up at the HEA, which is the happly ever after.
Yes.
And it will always happen. And that's the guarantee of the romance genre. And that is the power of the romance genre, is that you're not going to get tricked. There's no betrayal here. What you see is what you get. It's going to work out. It's going to be okay. That's the comfort of the genre to me. That's the pull. That's the attraction to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So back to our episode, perhaps?
Back to giggling?
Back to having a fun little time.
So, like, the look on Scott Hunter's face when he walks in after practice and sees that Kip is at his apartment, I'm like, this is the sexiest a man has ever been to me. Like,
that was really sweet. He was just like, couldn't believe he stayed.
He's like so happy to see Kip. And I'm like, do I want to be wifed up? Like, do I want to come home to someone?
You could get a dog. They will react the same.
My cats react this way.
That's very true. I could get a dog. Or I could get a wife is the thing.
Get a wife. It's great. I wouldn't know.
Yes. And and Kip has on some slutty little glasses.
I literally have a note here that's just like, these rugged hockey captains love some slutty little glasses.
They love a slutty little glasses.
Slutty little glasses.
And then Kip is watching a New York versus Montreal game, talking on the phone to his dad. He is still at Scott's house. And he does mention applying to BU, even though they hate Boston. And so this makes me think that, like, the acceptance that he gets at the end of this episode is, in fact, to go to Boston. Because why even bring it up if that's not what's happening? Because in the book, he doesn't even apply to anywhere outside of New York. Because he's like, I want to stick around. And the fact that he even applies elsewhere, I'm like, that feels important. But I don't know. He also, and this stresses me out, he lies to his dad and says that he's staying with Elena. And this is probably just the woman in me, but I'm like, okay, does anyone know where you are right now? Especially with all the serial killer talk, because like, yeah, haha, funny, but also like
they're men, so that doesn't matter.
No, I know, but I'm just like, this, I can't enjoy this part of the episode because I'm just like, oh my god, does anyone know where Kip is right now? Like, if Kip vanished, like, would they even know what to look for? Like, oh my
would
god.
they even know he'd vanished?
Yeah. The thing is, like, at this point, Kip and Scott are still kind of strangers to each other. Like, they know a little bit of tidbits every night, like, from each other. They don't know each other really well.
They U-hauled faster in the show than they did in the book, and they U-hauled fast in the book.
The show, I was like, oh, they are lesbians. They have the typical lesbian, like, first date that lasts, like, 3 days, because you just don't. Typical, as if I've ever experienced that. I haven't. I don't know. Like, tell people where you are. Someone should have your location. That's probably just the woman in me, but, like, men can be murdered, too.
Men's rights.
Ally Valentina.
I mean, particularly, like, queer men, like, do get murdered, so...
Yeah.
I'm crying.
So, I'm sorry. Then
can I read this line?
Yes,
single since forever, overworked like she has 2 wicked stepsisters. Then she gets a man and vanishes. What a cliche.
Sean has some very funny lines in this bar. I
think the pull quote from this episode should be, men get murdered too.
It ain't just that pussy get murdered.
Bruh.
They do! Okay. Also, the cut from Kip being like, he's a customer, I don't have a boyfriend, to then, like, them fucking, kind of funny.
They haven't said boyfriend.
I mean, like, I guess we haven't said boyfriend yet, but also, like, you're at his house when he's not there. That's boyfriend shit.
That's husband shit at that point.
And then, okay, the other thing that really tickles me is that Scott comes in and sees Maria and it, like, looks at her like he's never seen her before. Like, he's
never seen a woman.
Because, like,
he's like, oh my god, Kip, you've changed.
She's literally been there. Like, in the background, he has seen this woman at the smoothie shop before. But he doesn't, like, there is no recognition because he has only had eyes for Kip.
I mean, to make a reference, she's been there the whole time.
And then, also, like, when Scott leaves, they've just had the most sexually charged smoothie interaction of all time. And he's like, he's straight, I think. Like, you are not a good liar, girly. The actions speak for themselves.
I do love when his friends are roasting him. They're like, if he's making your name sound hot, he's into you because your name's stupid.
I mean, it's a lizard name. It's a lizard name.
But
also,
okay, so, like,
sorry.
Scott is super excited that Kip has made pasta salad.
He's like, oh my god, someone's taking care of me. An orphan?
I don't know why that was so funny.
I want to point out that Kip says there's no feta in the pasta salad. Why the fuck not?
Yeah, feta's delicious.
Not? It's so good. Jesus.
The idea of just the concept of being like, oh, I really love this artist, and your rich boyfriend going, oh yeah, I could buy some art. My god.
Like, oh my god, I love Range Rovers.
Yeah.
Maserati, Ferrari.
Oh my gosh, I love $50,000 to cover my student loans, except Kip doesn't love that, notoriously, in the book. So we go to this gallery, and I do feel like we have taken some of the tension out of their first appearance together in public, because in the book, you know, they go to the Met, there people take pictures, they get recognized, and there's kind of this whole, like, Scott Hunter, an unknown friend, are at the Met. And so, like, that explains more to me why Scott freaks out. But this, it's just like, there are plenty of reasons why 2 dudes would go to an art gallery. You'd just be like, hey, this is my friend Kip who knows a lot about art.
Also, Kip is just, like, so clearly gay. He could literally be like, this is my gay art dealer. He has better taste than me, a straight hockey player.
Right. I'm like, Scott, you didn't need to freak out about this here, bud. I mean,
I guess recognized.
So my opinion on this, though, is quickly just to say I understand the crash out because, one, like, being in a league like the NHL that's so homophobic, Scott is like, if I'm even seen with a gay man, someone's going to say something about it. People are going to chirp at me on the ice about it. They're going to make a deal. And then also just this implication that, like, Kip knows where the bedroom is, and like all this stuff is like he's so tense and so in his head that he can't even think of an excuse as to why, because you could just be like, this is my designer, or like whatever, you know?
Yeah. Someone told me once, and it's like stuck with me in a lot of situations. It was like, insecurity just means that you're thinking about yourself too much. And I think that's what's happening here. Like, Scott is so self-involved and so insecure and thinking that like someone is going to think that I'm gay, that like even really, really normal things that like could be explained in a million different ways, he's like, this is so obvious, like they're gonna know that I'm gay.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean,
he also comes from this hockey culture of like, ew, liking a girl, gay. Eating a banana, gay.
Yeah.
Having a crush, gay.
It's all gay.
Showering, gay. Basic hygiene, gay.
Gay.
And Kip is also a lot more understanding of the gallery crash out than he is about the Met crash out. Like, he's very frustrated. However, this New York bodega, why does it look like that?
No, I clocked that instantly too. I'm like,
why are there souvenirs outside?
Also, has anyone ever bought socks at a bodega? Because I certainly can't get socks at any of the 6 bodegas next to me.
And even if you could, would you?
Socks at a bodega.
No, not novelty socks.
Yeah, exactly. That's shit for the tourists.
Yeah, like this should have been like a little tourist shop or something. There's tons of those.
Can I point out my favorite Easter egg ever?
The poster?
Ever? Yes, the movie poster. It's the Rose Landry Underdark movie poster, which is the FBI movie where she's kidnapped again.
Okay, wait, I did not notice this. This is
it's on the window of the bodega.
Oh man, you're gonna make me watch episode 3 again. That's the one I've seen the least. I skip that one often. Skip, just as the name intends.
Yes, skip. Some of the little details are so good, and then some of the big details we've just like missed the mark entirely, like the timeline. I'm like,
but the heart is there. That's what matters, I think. Yeah.
The interaction though about the like, would you be jealous if I got my smoothies from some other guy, even if I gave you all the juicy details and like told you how he blended them?
That was actually kind of amusing.
Tell me how he blended your smoothie, Scott.
Incredible. Honestly, one thing that we did better than the book, these socks are precious. The inclusion of the banana, them being blue, like just...
It is funnier than just like blue socks. I appreciate the novelty sock of it all.
Yes, and this is where we finally get our verse, Scott. Thank God. But we don't see it. We just
hear about it.
Yeah,
Can I fuck you? Yes.
This is a very intense conversation between Kip and Elena.
Yeah. No, this is like Elena makes Kip say out loud that he is in love with Scott, and Kip hasn't even told his dad this yet. And I'm like, I just can't imagine being at that place with someone and not being able to tell anyone. Like, I mean, I know it's very new. Like, I'm also like, yeah, okay, you're dating someone for 2 months. Like, I could see like not telling your friends and family yet if you're not like very open with your friends and family. But I think the issue is that like Kip is very open with his friends and family and wants to brag about this like very intense relationship that he's gotten into very fast. I mean, Scott's true love is hockey, and it's not, but right now, like that's what
he's acting.
Like Kip is his mistress for his real relationship with hockey. And like if I was Elena in this situation, I would be telling Kip like, you have to get out of this relationship. I know you like him, but he is clearly not as invested as you are, and like you can't keep doing this. Red flags abound in this relationship, and it's especially bad because like Kip and Scott, there is no plan for going forward. It's just like like we have this whirlwind romance and we haven't really thought about what comes next, and like a conversation needs to be had, but they are not communicating in the same way that they did in the beginning. And I think the problem is that Scott communicates, Kip does not. Because Scott is the one who like...
I think Kip is scared to ask for what he wants.
Because he has like no self-worth. He's like, I take smoothies, I'm not wealthy, I'm not blah, 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 blah.
Right, like I have no right to ask Scott Hunter to come out for me when I'm just like this smoothie guy. Ugh. And I love that Elena's like, well, Scott Hunter better be ready for me at this gala. Hell yeah.
So this is where I want to talk about the music. So again, Peter just released the soundtrack for the show, and this song is actually called Young and Restless 2, and it's very sad. It's very slow. And like to me, the music sounds like it's muting itself somehow. So like go listen to this afterwards, but something about this feels like the song itself is muting. And like it gives like trapped to me. It's like a lot of emotion is just trapped and very muted, and I think that this is the moment where the whole tone changes and things just start slipping.
Yeah. Ugh.
It's intense. And like, so then we're at this gala where Kip is downing champagne.
Yes.
Right? He's totally chill about everything.
He's having a great normal time.
Yeah. Elena says you need to chill out. And my note here is she's so me, except I'm downing champagne just for the shits and gigs.
Yeah.
Like, I'm also the friend who's like, you need to calm down, but I'm downing.
I'm downing champagne in preparation for having to deal with whatever nonsense Scott and Kip are gonna. At this gala, Scott is also getting his tragic backstory brought up, which like makes sense considering what the gala is for, but like still sucks. And who is this man that they are talking to? His name is Tom, but like, what?
I don't know.
What qualifications does he have for like bringing this up?
How dare he? What qualifications does he have to call Scott Hunter an orphan to his face?
Yes! He's like, your mom would be proud of you. He also like, he's got a lot of questions about like why Scott is suddenly good at hockey. And he's like, did you meet a nice girl or something? And Carter's the one who steps in and is like, I think we just found our groove as a team. Love him.
Ally.
But I don't read that as Carter knows that Scott is gay. I read that as Carter has probably clocked in the like years that he's known Scott Hunter that Scott is really uncomfortable talking about women.
Yeah.
Because he's gay, but he hasn't made like that connection. So
no, he's just like Scott's super private and awkward with women.
Yeah.
Don't talk about them.
Also like the way that he checks in on Scott after this man is like, you know, your parents would be so proud, including your mom, and then Scott like walks off and he like asks if he's okay, whatever. Like I love Carter, and I hope that he gets his hot movie star girlfriend Gloria Gray in the next season because I think he deserves that.
He has a lady at the cup.
Good.
So
I hope that's her, and I hope it is the Gloria Gray. Also, the way that Scott approaches him and is like, Kip, right? At this point, everyone knows you know who this man is. Like,
I love that he's like, oh, I see an old friend. And is your name Kip?
Is it Kip? Perhaps Christopher. And Kip is being so weird. He says literally nothing. So Elena once again has to step in and like push these boys into doing something, which drives me crazy.
Now, Kith.
And it is interesting that when Kip says that Elena knows, Scott like looks panicked for a second, but then he's like, well, I kind of got that. So it's like, what's the truth, Scott?
I think he can still panic. I think he just has that moment of like, did anyone hear that? Like, oh, are we talking about this kind of a thing? So like, oh my God, he said it out loud.
If you say it out loud, it's gay. If you keep it inside, it's not. It's straight still.
If you keep it inside, it's internalized homophobia. That's fine.
It's not gay. If you keep the lights off and you don't talk about it, you don't talk to each other in public, you pretend you don't know his name, it's not gay. And so Scott, you know, once again wants to leave the function early with Kip, but Elena says he's got to dance with her. And the dance is a shovel talk of sorts, where she talks about, like, Kip is crazy about you. Scott says he's also crazy about Kip. And then this is when we get and he's miserable. Are you miserable too? But also, like, okay, it has been 2 months. Kip and Scott are not strong enough for Holinov's 7-year-long secret relationship. Like,
they could never.
I don't know. I think it's okay that Scott is not ready to tell people. Like, I know you don't want to be kept a secret. That's fine. But I think we could be working on a plan. We could make a plan. But instead we just get this vague, like, oh, you know, couple years. No, that's not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, we should maybe be starting to tell some people, such as...
Mm-hmm.
The moment Shane and Ilya get serious, Shane comes up with a 20-year plan. So if he wanted to, he could.
Right.
If he wanted to, he would. Yeah. So I also love the way that Kip acknowledges from across the room that, like, Elena is absolutely reading Scott for filth.
Mhm.
And, like, he knows it. And so he just, like, kind of,
Mhm,
like, lifts the
mhm.
glass, like, yeah, I know.
Yeah. Because he deserves sunshine and so do you!
Oh, God.
And Kip invites Scott to come to the Kingfisher for his birthday, but of course he cannot do that because going to a gay bar is gay.
Well, he also says, Maria knows, my friend Sean knows, and, like, the look on Scott's face of, like, Jesus Christ, how many people have you told? And then he's like, they know that you buy smoothies from me. And I was like, oh my God, thank God, because I was freaking out for a second, too.
Being like, oh,
But
fuck,
also,
people
to
are
invite
figuring
a
it out.
customer to your birthday party is
Wild.
kind of a big move. So,
Well, that's
Wild.
because Kip has shot himself in the foot. He could have been telling his friends, yeah, we're friends.
right.
But instead, he's been completely denying all of it. Honestly, like, I get that he's trying to keep Scott's secret, but he's going so balls to the wall on it that it's like, dude, you've shot yourself in the foot.
Well, and I also think, like, men don't really have friends in a lot of cases. Think about, like, I don't know. If you start being like, oh yeah,
Men get killed too. Don't really have friends.
Oh my God.
I mean, not in the way that women do. Like, it's a big thing in, like, relationships between men and women where, like, they want this woman to be everything to them, like a best friend, a mom, a partner, like all these things, where, like, women tend to have bigger circles. And so I'm like, did it just not occur to him that, like, men can be friends? I don't know. And also, the first time that Scott says, I love you, is when he's like, I want people to know that you're mine and I love you. We're just dropping that in the conversation. And Kip, like, says it back really fast, but I'm just like, guys, this is the first time we're doing that.
I love how the notes are like, guys, y'all been together for 2 months. This is too soon. I'm like, I can't say shit. My boyfriend and I were together for like 3 weeks before we said I love you.
Oh my God.
Good Lord.
You ho!
That's terrifying.
Yeah, and now we're living together and we're getting engaged in a few months and we're getting married by the end of next year.
Yay! Being
It all works out.
It's a
happily ever after. But then Scott's like, oh, I want everyone to know ... in a few years.
Again, we just need to communicate more clearly, because in the book we have this whole thing about, like, you know, I'm not ready to come out publicly. Can we wait until the end of the season and then, like, make a plan? But also, in the meantime, you can tell your parents, you can tell your family, I will come to dinner at your house. Like, it's not like, it's just I'm not ready to come out publicly right at this second, but also, like, I'm not gonna keep hiding you. Like, that piece of it is important. Like, Kip is not asking for Scott to all of a sudden skip down the street wearing a rainbow flag and be like, I'm gay, but he, like, wants to be able to tell the people that he loves about this, and they're not telling each other that. Like, you gotta be clear with your expectation. God. And, like,
this is why men shouldn't pretend to be lesbians, because they don't
they don't do it right. They don't do it right.
They don't know how to do it.
So that's why you can't say that the show is actually sapphic. Like, you gotta kind of say it in a joking way, because, like, if they were lesbians, like,
they would have talked about this extensively.
Yes.
Well, they were, like, considering going to Mexico after the first.
Yeah. Kip is not asking to be kissed publicly in front of God and Ilya Rozanov. We get sort of a flashback to what he said at the gala.
Lore drop,
yes. And we've changed Scott's backstory. So his
parents died at the same time in this one.
Yes, his parents were killed by a drunk driver when he was 12.
In this series, if you get to the age of 12 and something tragic has not happened, we get the gun.
What
pull
happened
out
to
a
Shane
gun.
Hollander by 12? Shane had a good life. Shane has 2 parents.
Racism.
Okay. Sure. Right, for sure. So this gala is also, it was for, like, a children in STEM situation in the book. It does make more sense that this is, like, for specifically the, like, hockey scholarship that Scott got. Though I'm like, why did Elena get invited to this gala? Is, I guess, now a question that we have. But sure, it's fine.
She's a cybersecurity engineer.
We're all here.
Yeah.
And so he talks about how, like, hockey gave him the family that he's been wanting. And now it's my turn to get into my own family coming out nonsense. So, like I said, I spent a long time being like, I'm not going to come out until there is someone to come out for. Like, until there is a reason for me to tell my family, I'm not going to say anything. And then there was a moment during Christmas a couple years ago in which my mom kind of brought it up and was like, I've been wondering if there was going to be like a big announcement from you at any point. And then I was like, oh, okay, so I can like have this conversation. And so then I was like, yeah, I have been like dating women. And I never said like I am gay, but to me, I'm like, I implied enough to where this like is not going to be a surprise. And that was like comforting to me for a while. And then I have another podcast, and on said podcast, I said something about like being gay, being a lesbian. And then the next time I saw my mom after that podcast had started, she was like, so I heard you're labeling yourself now. I heard what you said on this podcast, because I didn't know she was listening, but she apparently was. And I was like, oh, yeah. I was like, we've had this conversation. And then we had a very not good conversation in which, because my mom is very religious, and she was very much like, basically the whole thing boiled down to, if you had a partner, she would not be welcome at our family events. Like, you could not bring this girl home for Christmas. You can't bring that to our Christian family events. And I was like, oh, okay. But it's also kind of like, that's not a thing that I've ever really had to deal with, because I haven't had a serious female partner. And I think in part, some of that has been because of the way that I know my mom would react and the way that it would like completely isolate me from my family. But I'm just like, and this is also like, this is not something that either of us have brought up again. So I don't know, like, has my mom talked to my dad about this? I don't know. Do my brothers know? I have no idea, because I'm not going to bring it up again. My mom is pretending like this didn't happen, but it is so exhausting every time I am at home to be like, these people are my family, but there's this like part of me that I'm not allowed to bring with me here. Like, there's this, like, I don't think my family even knows who I am really, because there's this huge part of my life that I'm just not allowed to be honest about with them. And I feel like that is what Scott has in hockey as well. And it's exhausting. It sucks. It's isolating. Like, knowing that there's this thing that you can't talk about, and like wondering, you know, who would give up on me entirely if they knew this thing? Like, who would no longer like me? Who would no longer respect me? Who would no longer be my friend? And like, I think you approach all interactions with people based on that. It's like, would you still be talking to me if you knew that I was gay? Or do we just like pretend that it doesn't exist? Like, it's isolating and it's exhausting. And I think like, it's not what family is and what family should be. So I think like Scott needs more outside of this family that he's created with hockey. And that is so clear to me. And I'm just like, yes, you love them. Yes, they're your family, but you also have to take care of yourself. Like, the only reason that I can still go home and interact with my family and have these really hard weeks with them is because I also am my own person. Like, I have my own life that I'm really, really happy with. And so it makes it tolerable to sort of do this pretending thing every time I'm with my family. And like, I mean, it's really not even tolerable. It's just like what I deal with. And so I'm like, the fact that Scott doesn't have like the outside life, I feel for him. And I want him to take.
There's nowhere safe for Scott to be queer.
He's got like, I feel for him. I feel for him.
I think he deserves sunshine.
I do think he deserves sunshine. I think he, like, even if he's not ready to tell the entire world, even if he wants to
deserves, like, the Hollanders. Everybody deserves a family like the Hollanders.
Yes.
And I mean, I think that the Grady's are that a little bit in the book. Like, he at least interacts with them, and they at least, like, kind of, he deserves to have stuff outside of hockey, especially because he cannot bring his whole self to hockey, at least yet. Like, you gotta have the outside stuff when your family is not a place where you can be fully who you are. And I just, And then, like, to sort of contrast this, you have Kip coming home and like immediately crying in his dad's arms because
And his dad clocking that something is wrong.
Not
and
even
calling
needing to
him
ask.
my boy.
Ugh.
That's my son, my boy.
You keep doing like tear tracks down your face with your fingers.
Yes.
And I'm like, Montreal goes up crying. Please,
Yes.
please.
I do that all the time, the tears. There's also the like Kip apparently has gotten into grad school somewhere, launched in this conversation, but we also don't get an explanation for that. And then we have Kip having his birthday party and Scott just watching from the outside, which is like gayer than just going into the gay bar.
Yearning from the outside, like wild.
Yes, I'm like
serial killer behavior.
Just go inside. Go inside. Like if you're standing longingly on the street looking at a gay bar, like that's more suspicious than just going to the gay bar.
I love the implication though that he's trying. That he got all the way there and then just couldn't make it through the door. I kind of love that implication that he is trying.
Yeah, that's true. It's just devastating. Like, and that's why I'm like, I would like more, like, I want to know more about how they fix this. Like, how do we get from this to kissing when we win the cup? How do we get from point A to point B? Because
Zamboni.
Now we're back at the Olympics. And Scott's head very much does not seem like it's in the game. But this is the gold medal game.
Get your head in the game.
Apparently, he puts the banana socks on, but then puts other socks over them because, you know, he's still hiding. And it's never confirmed in the show, but in the book at these Olympics, the U.S. wins gold because Scott is said to have a gold medal. And then Canada wins silver because Shane is said to have a silver medal. And there's also some point where it's like implied that Una Hollander is mad at Scott Hunter for taking the gold medal from Shane. But yeah, the show doesn't.
My boy!
The show doesn't tell us that. But if they're playing in the gold medal game, he is about to walk home with a medal regardless. This does not seem like a man who's about to win Olympic gold to me, but I don't know, maybe he'll lock in.
That is a heavy episode in disguise.
Yeah. It really is.
In disguise. No, it's like front and center. What are you talking about in disguise?
Because it seems like everything's going to be okay, but then you get into the discourse and we're all crying.
I think it's a fine episode. I don't understand some of the changes that we made because some of them just seem like we made changes to make changes, but I don't know.
It's an important episode. It has to happen. I don't skip it. It's a great episode, but I do get to the end and I'm just like, I miss my boys.
Yeah. But I think, like, you know, I'm very glad that they gripped me the way that they did, because I don't know that
gripping each other too.
Well, yeah, I don't know that I would have gotten as into the show as I did if not for them. So I do love me some Scott and Kip, even if they're boring.
Janai, any final thoughts?
No. I think we covered everything.
I think talking for 3 hours about less than an hour of television, yeah, probably covered everything. Would you like to tell the people where they can find more of you if they heard what you said and are like more?
Yeah, I guess you could follow me if you want at Janai Reads Books on the internet. I'm everywhere. I'm really online.
The important question is, how many books do you read?
A lot.
Hell yeah.
Janai is Janai.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. Janai Reads Books.
Yes.
Perfect.
Wow. Thank you for joining us. This has been a good
Always
time.
fun to like talk shit about this book, but also like it. So
yeah.
Talking shit from a place of love is one of my favorite hobbies.
It's really important to me personally. So yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just happy I'm almost done with this reread, and then I can move on to my babies.
Yeah.
My babies.
Yeah. What a good time.
We didn't say this because this happened since we've recorded. We're getting a third Rozanov book. Unrivaled.
Yes.
Dude,
So
my
excited.
timeline is so confused because I am a women's basketball fan, and the league that's going on right now is called Unrivaled. And so my entire feed is Unrivaled, but it's talking about it in different contexts.
Yes. Unrivaled, the new book. Unrivaled, the women's basketball.
And it's like my brain is like it's like lagging. Like it's like reading the tweet and it's like, why is this? Oh, I get it now.
And podcasters are the villain of Unrivaled. Is this fucking play about
You're
us?
goddamn right, bitch.
They know that we hate the gays and we're homophobic to Scott and Kip.
Perfect.
Oops.
And that men get killed.
and have no friends.
You can really tell like how highly I think of men. I'm so sorry to men.
You shouldn't
Don't
be.
apologize. They wouldn't apologize to you.
Exactly.
So true. So I fear I will be giving Camille her Captain C back next episode because you did a better job keeping us on track than I did.
How was my rookie performance?
How was your rookie performance?
Yes.
I think you scored at least 50 goals.
Slay.
In your rookie season.
Did I win Rookie of the Year? Did I lose?
I think you lost, but then you're gonna go to a hotel room and you're gonna have the best sex
Bang it
of your
out.
life. So
Not in this one. I just yell at him on the balcony if I'm Ilya.
Oh yeah, no, that's the wrong Vegas. That's the wrong Vegas. Oh, that's worse.
Anyway, say the thing, Mal.
Alright, well, if that's all. So long, fellow losers and hockey lovers.
The Pit Crew podcast is created and produced by us, Robert, Mal, and Camille. This episode was edited by me. You can find us on TikTok, Threads, and Instagram at Pit Crew Podcast. If you'd like to support our other projects, our socials are linked in the show notes. Our art is by Rand Pacoca. He can be found on Instagram at Rand Pacoca. All patient questions and concerns can be emailed to pitcrewpodcast@gmail.com. Now, this isn't a Taco Bell, but we do appreciate a 5-star rating and review wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to schedule a follow-up appointment with a nurse before you go. See you next time.